We talk about experiences, and this is really the best way to experience the Roval is to get out here and take a few laps. So we'll check it out.
Every wrestling fan or whatever wants to do the promo cut, so I'm going to be the announcer. You ready for this?
I am ready.
All right, Wednesday night right here, Bojangles Coliseum. I'm here with Matt Hardy. Matt, what are they in for tomorrow night?
Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, the HFO, the Hardy Family Office. We are going to shut you up and then shut you down. You are going to suffer a very serious side effect, and you are going to lose this matchup by a very fortunate twist of fate.
Matt Hardy, ladies and gentlemen. We'll send it back to you.
That's the best ever, Brian.
We are ready, Brian. Thank you. I also don't know how we can top that, Cheryl.
I don't think we can.
I'm Brian Stephenson. Coming up, I'm going to show you one of the coolest car collections you've ever seen.
While they were in town, Randy went to see the mural created in his honor. It was his first time seeing it. Mary's too. It moved them, and it moved me to watch the moment unfold.
I'm excited.
They also took me to the house where he grew up, showed me the barn and the field where he spent hours riding horses as a kid. Full circle for the man many thought would never leave the hospital.
He wasn't going to give up. He wasn't going to give in, and the stroke is just not bigger than he is.
Once inside, you can choose if you'd like to dine in Burke, Avery, or McDowell County.
We pay taxes in all three counties. It does not add up to more than 100%. It's a little bit here, a little bit there, and a little bit over yonder.
Having a restaurant in 3 counties can get confusing.
So I'm standing in Burke. You are standing in Avery. But then if I fall back and stumble over a little bit, then I'm in McDowell.
And if you stand in front of the fireplace?
If you stand at that star and you have a lot of junk in your trunk, then you can be in all 3 counties.
There's the hook. And as the pilot approaches, a perfect connection. Madison knew this was the right place to start 4440 Ranch and Cattle Company.
And I guess me getting to go around the world kind of opens your eyes and you see that and you realize, how good you got it.
Randy is a hit on TikTok. He has more than 2 million followers on the social media app. And he and Mary get a kick out of how popular his videos have become.
We do feel like the grandparents. Randy's like, well, I guess I'm a grandpa of TikTok, which is fine. We'll take that.
And if that's not enough to show you that you never know what life will bring you, maybe this will.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Hey, John Carter, you know that feeling when you finally own your dream car?
Yes.
You do?
I do, actually, yes.
Most of us will never know that feeling. But for one man in Charlotte, he has felt that feeling several times over. He has amassed a rare collection that is mind-blowing for even the mildest car enthusiast. It isn't open to the public, but our Brian Stephenson somehow talked his way inside the garage so that we could show you.
They are some of the most unique, rare, pristine cars you will ever see. From Ferrari to Bugatti, Rolls-Royce, and everything. I mean everything in between.
This is probably one of the finest car collections in North America.
Rick Gothia is the caretaker of the collection. His job? To keep them all in working order.
All these cars are maintained in a running condition. Each one is ready to go at a moment's notice. He does drive all these cars. They are used, so this is basically a working museum.
He is Robert Kaufman, a successful businessman. I caught up with him at a fancy car show in Amelia Island, Florida, where he brought a few favorites from the collection for people to see.
For me, the cars are something you can use and have fun with, so to me it's more about the experiences. So I guess it happens to be a collection because there's a number of them.
The cars run the gamut, from this Ford GT race car to this 1921 Duesenberg.
It raced in the 1921 Indy 500, the 1921 French Grand Prix, and the 1922 Indy 500. So cars are pretty versatile back then.
It is an incredible amount of history, but the stories that go with the cars are just really what sets it apart to me. The oldest automobile in the collection is a 1901 Panhard. The first endurance race here in the United States was from New York City to Buffalo, New York. It took 3 days, and that is the car that won the event. We have a 1912 Simplex that was owned by Vanderbilt, who gave it to his girlfriend, Eleanor Sears, as a birthday present, and she actually raced the car.
Then there is this car. Look familiar? Think the big screen.
Kind of the star of the show over here is the incredible 1966 Ford GT chassis P1046, which is the actual winning car from the 1966 Le Mans. It's gotten some notoriety through the Ford versus Ferrari movie, which was a fantastic story.
They all have great stories and are fun to drive. But what car does Robert drive when he's in town?
Yeah, probably my go-to car is my 63 split window Corvette. We're both the same model year, so that's sort of a funny connection to remind you, where you're at.
While his cars are not for sale, he has a collection of amazing cars next door that are for sale. RK Motors helps people buy or sell classic cars. The best part? You can visit and check out all of the cool cars here.
Whether you're the first-time hobbyist or a serious car collector that's looking for something special, we have the resources and the cars to fit those needs.
Robert knows he's been blessed to have a collection like this, but everything he has is rooted in a genuine love of the automobile.
It's amazing, man. I sort of read about these kind of things when I was a kid, when car magazines were a thing, and when I was a teenager, and that I would ever have any of these kind of cars myself would just have been a dream. But dream and have some good luck and work a bit, maybe it can come true to some level.
And who knows? You may not be dreaming if you think you see one of these cars on the road. In Charlotte, I'm Brian Stephenson for QC Morning.
You guys have seen banner planes before, high above a ball game, perhaps, or the beach maybe, or afternoon traffic. Well, they've been a way to send a message for generations, right? But getting those banners in the air is a lot harder than you may think. Brian Stephenson went behind the scenes with a company flying out of Indian Trail to show us how it's done.
Did you see that? The plane snatched that banner in the blink of an eye. The pilot heading to a traffic jam near you to fly some advertising in the friendly skies. But to get to that moment, there are hours worth of work on the ground first.
If you do it just without making sure it's 100% neat, you might mess up the banner.
A sim loves being a pilot.
When I got my license, I always wanted to be a banner tow pilot. It's very nice to go with people with a gender reveal, with like, will you marry me message, or happy birthday, just makes people happy.
To be able to read them from the ground, the banners are big and heavy. Getting them aloft starts here.
We have to attach a 250 feet long rope, and with that rope has to be attached to 2 poles.
The poles stand 6 feet up, with the rope placed perfectly on top of each. That rope can't have any knots or tangles as it attaches to the banner.
Safety is first, and then everything comes after.
Once a sim and his co-pilot Victor go through their pre-flight checks and fill up with fuel, the last part of the process is getting the hook ready to grab the rope and pull the banner. He drops the hook once the plane is airborne. Meanwhile, Don Padre Barrick at Southern Spirits has his eyes trained to the sky. He first used banner planes to advertise nearly 2 decades ago.
Even people from 19 years ago, when I first flew the banner, remembers Southern Spirits, and occasionally they'll come in and say, I saw your plane today, when it hadn't been up in years.
Needing a little post-pandemic boost, he decided to bring back the high-flying ads for nearby drivers.
They're either on their phone, listening to music, or daydreaming. Well, when they hear that plane go putzing by, they look up, and it gives me an impression.
Back at the airport, there's the hook. And as the pilot approaches, a perfect connection. Watch it again. He has to be so precise to snag the rope. Up it goes. Makes it look easy. But now you know it isn't. At Goose Creek Airport, I'm Brian Stephenson for QC Morning.
Wow, that is so cool. I never knew that.
Cool?
I never knew that.
I never thought about it.
No, not a single thought.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking a lot about it. And you should know this, when it comes time to land, the pilot pulls a lever in the plane that releases the hook and the banner is dropped right where it was picked up.
It's
the precision.
A lot of work. That's a lot of work.
He is a World Series champion, an unbelievable pitcher, and perhaps most important to those of us around here, the pride of Caldwell County. When the Arizona Diamondbacks season ends, Madison Bumgarner makes a beeline for home. And he agreed to talk only with our Brian Stephenson at 4440 Ranch and Cattle Company in Lenoir about baseball and the family business that keeps him fully invested in the community.
This is one of the two places Madison Bumgarner feels most comfortable, on the mound and on the farm.
We're here, pretty much, 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7.
This cattle farm takes up 200 acres in what's known as historic Happy Valley. Madison knew this was the right place to start 4440 Ranch and Cattle Company.
And I guess me getting to go around the world kind of opens your eyes and you see that and you realize, how good you got it.
He has plenty of support to run things when he's off playing baseball.
Most everyone that works for us is family, or there's a few people that are really good friends and might as well be family.
Their cows are born here, and it's where they live until it's time to, well, you know. But they're not your ordinary beef cattle.
So we raise Wagyu is the correct pronunciation, Wagyu. You hear a lot of people say Wagyu or Wagyu, but the correct one is Wagyu.
The meat is processed and sold in a store on the property. Madison's cousin, Ronnie Wilson, runs that part of the business. He's proud of what they're producing.
The breed Wagyu is known for their marbling, so they have a lot of intramuscular fat in the meat, and so what that's going to do is it's just going to give you a more flavor, and it's going to give you a little more tender piece of steak.
That high-quality cut is also supplied to restaurants in the area. And soon the plan is to open a second store in downtown Lenoir.
I think being in town is going to be a big difference maker as far as getting more eyeballs on the product, getting more people in the door. We're proud of our product and we'd love to share it with as many people as possible.
Madison still made time for his workouts before he left for spring training. That's his wife, Allie, catching those powerful pitches. Madison Bumgarner is nowhere near putting his career on the baseball field out to pasture.
I'm trying to win another championship or two, and I'm not trying to, hit the brakes going towards the backside of it. I'm trying to hit the gas.
Meanwhile, the cows will hold down the farm until the next off season. In Caldwell County, I'm Brian Stephenson for QC Morning.